Yeah, I'll just say really quickly, I expected MTS to just kind of win this one because of the momentum from last time, but Streeps is bouncing back. I also want to say that I think MTS has the best offense on this map, and Streeps probably has the best defense. So I think that's where the battle is going to be. So let's see the mid fight.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Getawhale, and it is the tie break here on Viaduct as we're rolling out. Already we have Skyrolla going down from the Streeps team in red.
MTS dominated this mid fight. They took out just about all the important classes minus the medic very quickly. This is just perfect play from MTS. However, Streeps did get their medic out alive.
Yes, sir. And Muster, we see now MTS kind of backing up to Cliff. What do you think we could see in terms of positioning? We've seen some teams during these playoffs be super aggressive and kind of take the opposing Cliff. Do you think we'll see any of that this time?
You probably will when the situation warrants it, which is really when you can get there before the other team spawns, like when you nearly or completely wipe them. MTS, or Mix-Up rather, in sixes loves doing this play there where they just wait on the cliff and they kind of fade out the other team's aggression, where the other team thinks they can take this ground for free, and then suddenly MTS jumps off a cliff and pounces on them. And
Noko,
oh my God.
big!
I think Dawana just launched Noko into the medic with a sticky, and Noko surfed it into a backstep on Mang. That was unreal.
Hope we got that on cam. Paragon pulled off a big headshot as well, who's now finally going down though. The Ubers were popped, and we've already got a minute capped here on this point by MTS, but they're sort of being challenged right now. Still holding the point though.
Usually this Uber Force would be good for Street Hoops, but the fact that they lost their medic in the process, not worth it. And I think MTS is gonna, they're pretty close to Uber and they're gonna recap this fairly soon, unless Harblue dies to some crazy spy play himself. And he dies to Paragon Sniping! Caster's Curse, man, like, it's ridiculous right now.
Dawana trying his best to put out some damage here, but I don't think that Street Hoops are gonna be able to hold on. And if they want to back out of here, you want to stay alive. Dawana's going down. That's not going to bode well. 3 left up for the Street Hoops team.
Yeah, MTS just used their spawn advantage, as Sigafoo was saying. Like, even though they didn't have a medic, they knew what's the worst that could happen if we all jump in right now. You know, we spawn in 5 seconds anyways. They don't. You know, we got the point.
Yeah, so Street Hoops, of course, in red, tacked up as 20B. They want to sort of regroup now from this as the time ticks down. We're a minute and a half away from MTS taking this first round on this Koth map. Remember, we're playing to 3 total points. Whoever can pull off 3 is going to take this map.
Going on Mang right now, gets Huey Lewis trying to go around the corner, gets caught out there. It looks like Street Hoops is slowly taking the ground very methodically instead of trying to do that all across point. Even with Uber disadvantage, and they're going to get it.
Oh, Platinum jumping in. He gets shut down, though. So we see a bit of that Six's spirit. We'll probably see a lot of soldier jumps on this, and probably a lot of cleanup, too, from the scouts. And MTS now trying to just cap this right back, and they probably will.
Sigafoo, I just went in third person and did a teleporter hunt, and it looks like Light Off has his up on the fairly standard spot behind the little like mid awning over main, like on that little small bridge. And I don't think Spamfest has one up right now.
He does.
I think he just put up one. He just got it up. Yeah, it wasn't there before, so he understands how important it is. But I guess that means MTS is doing more to take it down. You know.
And we have a pause, and so we have applause more like. Pretty good. We made it through this far without as many pauses as we had on Monday. That works.
That's an advantage.
That is an advantage. So
less of a fake out game.
We'll assume that Shu just joined the server and started messing about.
Shu's here finally. So let's look at what we have right now. I mean, big old advantage, 70% advantage right now for Street Hoops. So obviously, you got to be liking that if you're Mang. And here we go. Actually, it doesn't take long at all. HUD might be a little screwed up, but don't blame us. It's just the game. It's not us.
It'll be back soon. So.
It will be back soon. So here we go. Uber's popped on Deadbolt this time a little bit. Comes in and picks out Marissa. Getting a lot of picks here. Deadbolt just coming right in through the... Oh, finally going down, though. He was on a hunt.
Mang dies to the Wrangler spam from Light Off. That's ridiculous.
Nice. And so, going down there, and now MTS going to have a big advantage. Keep in mind, though, they still own this point. We see right now Street Hoops finally does take it back, though.
This is going to be so hard for Street Hoops to win this round. I mean, MTS has an Uber advantage, and they only need to get 20 seconds. If they get a good push off here, that can just be the end by itself. So let's see what happens.
MTS are in this standard spot now, just sort of holding nearby house. They've got the little nest up, and they're not sending too many out right now, just kind of waiting. And finally, they're going to go now with Ubers.
Noko gets Dawana right before the Uber. This is this is probably going to end pretty poorly for Street Hoops. I just don't see them winning this
Squid
round.
just on a mission. Squid every time just going right for the medic. So
oh,
Blue though.
Yeah.
They need a counter push right now. They need to get out there.
Yeah, this is
Dewana's
the
back up. He
time
just
to
needs
do it.
They're waiting for Dewana. That makes sense. They almost have Uber. May needs to not die in the next like 3 seconds or so as he pushes this point. They need to recap it without popping, and they need to have Mang hold his Uber. Except they get forced. So I think this is probably like they're gonna recap the point now. Maybe I don't even know if they will.
They might not. They're kind of sniping Paragon, watching. They're finally now trying to get it. But we've got it's blocked actually by Noko, who was on there. People trying to block, but they do get the cap. But we did get it to overtime, and so what that means now is that we have another pause.
That's exactly what it means. Yeah.
The Street Hoops team, they have got to hold on to this for a minute and a half, just over a minute and a half. They can't give it up at all, and if they do give it up, MTS is going to take this round. So second pause, not sure what's going on with that. You know, both of these teams are respectful. I'm sure they'll give pauses as they're needed. Looks like it's the end of this first round. Is there something that Street Hoops is doing wrong so far, or are they just being sort of outmatched by a team that knows the map better?
It's just you see the gameplay really modify itself a lot on a Koth map as the time ticks down, you know? MTS basically has so much more pressure on Street Hoops just because this time they only have to cap it once. And the way that makes these teams play differently is very interesting, you know? You can kind of bait Street Hoops into going into pushes that they normally shouldn't do because they have to. And it happens constantly. Not just like at the very end of a map, like Gully Watch last time, for instance, but all throughout the map.
Yeah, so again, bear with us with the HUD here, folks.
Street Hoops actually holding on surprisingly well. I mean,
they really are.
What happened
they
there
haven't
was
won the round
actually...
yet.
Yeah, they were very spread out during all that push, and they basically just collapsed on the point all at once, had the minigun down, coming at him from all angles. Platinum tried to come over the top, get Meng, did not get it, got taken down, and then basically they just focused on the point, focused on kills. It was a really good job by Street Hoops there.
Harblue blasted back a little bit, but coming up now onto this point, they can't cap all Ubered, obviously, but looking real good now. They've got 2 or 3 on point and swarming. Oh, going down! Big explosion there, about 4 or 5 going down, right on mid. Platinum comes in and goes down.
Yeah.
And we've got Noko now going for it. And, oh, wow.
Hey, that was too
kill.
close for comfort for MTS because of Dewana. Yeah. Like, I looked at the stats. Dewana ended the round with the most kills on either team, despite the fact, or nearly, I think he had 1 kill less than the highest, despite the fact that he had like 1 point for 90% of the round. At that very end, he just got about 8 kills in the last minute, so...
Apparently, Squid's computer is freaking out, according to the game chat. You know, Mustard, you bring up a good point as the play devolves in a round of this. And I'll ask you, Sigafoo, is a lot of this about adaptability and being able to adapt and sort of, you know, adjust your play style as the round goes on?
I guess I would say to some degree, like, yes, like you do need to adapt to it, but I mean, really, it's like there's tried and true methods. Like you push off your spawn disadvantages. Like it's kind of just like in the wheelhouse. Like I don't think, you know, Viaduct is such a small map. That's really you just do the things correctly, and that's how you win. It's not about doing like extreme things, special things. It's just about playing your advantages smartly. I don't know how much it feels on it, but that's how I feel.
I think you nailed it actually because we saw MTS just kind of chilling on their cliff, like we talked about earlier, and they came down with Uber, but having to back up there, not getting the best of that exchange. So I guess, like you say, maybe playing it more by storybook and just, you know, calling up the plays like football or something like that, you know?
I mean, as long as you control your flank, you know, like that's the biggest thing. Yeah.
And Deadbolt with really nice cleanup. He killed Sweater, Squid, and Platinum there, which, I mean, basically what happened there was Street Hoops recapped the point, but they lost Dewana for it. And MTS looked ready to pounce on that fact and just cap it right back, but then Deadbolt just denied them, playing that pocket scout role, you know, really good job.
Yeah, and so Harblue sort of ran out of people to heal, but he's doing fine now, and he's going to have a very slight advantage if they come and take this cliff here right now. If you are on the Street Hoop side, if you are Paragon, their sniper, would you try to maybe come down and try to snipe out that cliff a little bit? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
You go ahead.
Okay, alright, nice. No, basically, Sniper, I think, is one of those ones where you do want to be adaptable. You constantly want to be rotating. And Ash is coming down on Harblue right now, doesn't get the kill, but basically, Sniper, you constantly want to be rotating, because like the more surprise factor it is, the more likely you're to have somebody walk in the sight line that they shouldn't. So yeah.
I think what you'll see a lot of good snipers do on this map is when they have the point, they'll run Razorback and play with their combo on the point. So it essentially means that the spy has a really hard time of even getting to them, and they're constantly buffed so the sniper can't get to them. The only way they can die is if the other team like pushes directly into them, which gives them so many free shots. Sniper, when you're trying to recap the point and that sniper's just shooting down the cliff at you, it's just awful, man. Snipers can dominate this map.
We see Platinum, the blue soldier, has been flying all over this map, and again, you know, remember a mix-up, that's kind of that Six's mentality. I think he's been in the air longer than he's been on the ground on this map as he takes out Colombian there. But holding on to the point right now, we're a little closer in terms of times than we were last round, but here comes now Street Hoops. They're going to Uber on the point. Platinum flying around again.
Yeah, nice job by Huey Lewis. The other team had a much better Uber, but Huey sacrificed himself an air blast in the way to keep it from doing too much. However, Sweater with a really nice mid to long range sticky, kind of sniping out Meng right there. So not so bad at counter push, but Street Hoops still capped it.
Yeah, Street Hoops kind of bringing the battle lines a little forward here. They're not super aggressive. Well, here comes the soldier in the flanking classes. They've got a little bit of a lead on time here, and they've got a pretty good setup here. They're maybe sort of finding their rhythm on this map now.
Yeah, they're getting more
aggressive. Down to the first mid fight, you know, won the first mid this time, and they didn't win it the first time, so they had that buffer of extra time. Or sorry, they didn't win the mid fight, but they pushed back immediately, like much faster. I think that's really important.
Big old Pretzel now jumping on with that slow-moving gun onto the point, and MTS want to take this back. Remember, 1-0 so far for MTS, and whoever reaches 3 points first is going to win this map and win it all.
MTS got a lot of kills here without even having to use their Uber, so I think they're not going to have to use it to cap, and that's definitely a big advantage on this map. If you can ever push back without using your Uber.
Oh, Paragon! Oh, yikes!
Perfect
big pick there on Harblu. Paragon just picking his spots and just sniping the medic there. A fantastic move. Time ticks away.
Every time I try to commend one of these medics for not having to pop in a situation, they get killed by a Spire's
Caster's Curse, I know. We've all had a bit of Caster's Curse tonight, unfortunately. Got a little exchange here now with mid, and bad news for Harblu. 20 HP, that's it for Harblu. Rip.
That was really weird. What happened was, MTS did like a suicide, but they committed their medic so far during the suicide. He just did not get back while they were suiciding. So after they forced the Uber killed Harblu, which is not what you want to do when you have like a full team suicide on Viaduct. You want your medic to start backing out like as you go in, and they just did not do that.
Oh, big stab there. Noko doing crazy work, gets Spamfest and Skyrolla, and that's going to help, and maybe enough to cap.
Meng just can't die here. Right now, they just need to get out. Let MTS take this. You have 10 seconds left. You're going to have spawn advantage. You're going to have Uber advantage. Like, you have all the advantages. Just get out, get pushed back in.
Paragon had eyes on Harblu again. He's been doing such a fantastic job. Time ticks down now for MTS.
MTS is playing this well, though. They're holding really close. They have to hold this close. They have to force Meng's Uber far away from the point for them to even have a chance in this round. But Meng is creeping in on the other side and forcing them back. So they do get forced early, and Harblu is already on his own cliff, and he got Uber in time.
Wow.
Really clutch play by MTS, delaying the Uber long enough to get their own.
Yeah, down goes finally Meng. I've got to hand it to the flankers, specifically Platinum and Squid on MTS, who have been pressuring the sniper Paragon a lot and sort of holding him at bay. Yep.
Doesn't matter. Got the cap.
There's the cap, and so looking good now for Street. But here we have the recap going down by MTS. They don't want this to go to overtime.
They have to kill Dewatna here. They have to kill Dewatna here. Luckily, they got him. That's their last chance in this round. They have to keep as many people alive as possible. They have to have Sweater spawn and Sticky up the point like crazy, and they have to just cluster their team around the point and collapse on it. But Sweater just spawned. I don't know if this is possible. This is going to be really close, and I think Street Hoops has the advantage going into this fight. Let's see what happens.
Heavy on fire here, and coming down to the wire, Platinum sorry, that was not Platinum. Sweater in, and capped back by Street Hoops now. Yeah. Street Hoops takes that round, ties it up 1-1.
Yeah. The reason that round was so close is because both teams relentlessly used their spawn advantage. The second they lost the point, it seemed like they were pushing back. You never saw a team able to hold the point for more than like 30 seconds at a time. It was really impressive.
Real nice rollout there by Dewatna, who lands on the rock on the loadout, getting some damage out. No picks yet on mid. And down goes Platinum, so that's sort of the air attack going down, and Pretzel down as well. MTS losing maybe a little too many. 9 HP is Sweater, and Sweater just faking it, finally going down. And so this first cap looks like it's going to go to Street Hoops.
Yeah, luckily Harblue manages to escape because he realizes that unlike a lot of 5 CP maps where it might be worth it for him to put out heals and risk his life, you know, in order to get this, on Viaduct you really do want to keep your medic alive as much as possible because in order to repush, like you can repush really quickly if you keep your medic alive even if you lose that first mid fight, so it's not over yet. Harblue still is alive, he's going to get the super and they're going to push back him.
Yeah, Duana sort of maybe catching on to the MTS strategy, setting up sticks over by the cliff, sending spam as well. Both medics do have Uber, but popping first and getting forced actually was MTS. And they have too much ground to cover. They're not going to get anything out of that Uber, and that's terrible for holding on to it. And,
Spawn advantage. Spawn advantage is so powerful in this map, man. You can take those risks and get that aggressive because you know that if you do, you know...
Well, no, but it's spawn advantage if you even out in kills. They lost 4 people in that exchange, and even now they're going to lose like another 30 seconds off the clock. If they exchanged and no one died, then yes, they did the right play. But they exchanged and had deaths. MTS is going to lose some more time.
Yeah, and when you get to this high level, you can't wait every time for Uber. You sort of do have to dry push and leak in and pick up, you know, get those picks that you can get. You can't wait. We only have 3 minutes, and already, you know, we're a minute 45 away from Street Hoops taking this round.
Yeah, and
no
MTS
cap yet from MTS.
MTS really has to start pushing. I mean, the time pressure is really going to start getting to them. You know, they're nearing that point where like they could lose even if they do everything right just because of the time.
Yeah, we have Uber here. Obviously, they cannot cap while Ubered, but they're going to get on that point. MTS looking for their first cap. Platinum.
Stat by Colombian though on Sweater. And MTS does cap it, but I think Street Hoops is going to be able to recap it fairly soon because they're going to have numbers, or they're going to spawn at roughly the same time, but they still have a demo first, and they have Uber advantage. So
big advantage, yeah. I'm surprised that Fathom is holding so far up, but MTS, they're smart enough to know this situation. They do have good game sense, and they are sort of harkening back to their little cliff that they love so much.
Yeah, it's interesting that we haven't seen a forward hold yet in this game. MTS kind of attempted one, but it just hasn't come out yet. It looks like Street Hoops is going to be pushing right now across the point. Chasing down Harblue, trying to get him. Harblue's going to get out in temp. They're going to get this cap. And that's all they need. They just need to keep getting time off this cap. They already have a minute advantage. They don't need to do anything crazy.
Colombian kills Harblue with the revolver.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, even if Harblue stayed alive there, they'd still be at a disadvantage because if they keep trading the point like this, you know, Street Hoops has the time advantage, so it wouldn't matter. But with that going down, this is really dire. MTS has to have a push where they kill Mang and cap the point and keep Harblue alive. It's that simple. Otherwise, they lose this round.
Marissa going down there from Paragon. Paragon has sort of been winning the sniper battle on this map so far. Got to hand it to him, and a little action behind. Platinum going way behind, just jumping all the way back, almost to red spawn, and that's not going to do anything. 40 seconds left as Street Hoops holds on here, and they're sort of owning what is what was purported to be MTS's map here right now.
Yeah, I think a big difference is Dewatna. He's playing out of his mind. He's doing a lot more damage than Sweater. I have to be honest. I can tell he's really shutting down this game.
Yeah, Dewatna Cam, really the money cam right now. We're sticking with him a lot as much as we can, and just really smart, just taking out that cliff and really taking that MTS's cliff out of the equation and forcing them to maybe go outside of their comfort zone, as here they come with Ubers now.
And only 6 seconds left in the clock.
Yeah, Dewatna could just sticky up the point here and force their team to come on it. There's nothing they can do. Like, look at this. He's just spamming the point.
Oh my god, the picks from Dewatna! Dewatna picking out so many, finally going down, but somehow MTS pulls off a cap. Only question is, how long are they going to keep this? As Marissa gets Paragon there with a nice shot.
Yeah, that was, despite what I was saying about how much damage Dewatna did, Squid and believe it or not, Noko managed to come in and just do a ridiculous amount of damage and win it at the last second because, you know, they had better spawns. They kept coming in while Street Hoops was still dead. But, yeah, this is very hard to hold.
Marissa's down now for MTS, and that won't help either. Platinum get up airborne, but if it's coming down to DM here, this is going to be real close.
It would be real close if it weren't for the fact that Dewatna just killed Sweater, which I think will tip the damage in Street Hoops' favor, and I think it's going to be their round.
There it is, full wipe, MTS all down and easily taking the third round as Street Hoops. Street Hoops are 1 round away from winning it all. All they have to do is win this third round, and that's going to be it.
Looking at the stats, Deadbolt and Paragon are both doing well, but they're actually being closely matched by Squid and Marissa, who are also playing very well. The big difference, like I said, is in demos. Dewana has 9,700 damage to Sweater's 8,000. Sweater's isn't bad, but Dewana's is just ridiculous right now. He needs to keep going like this. Nice mid by MTS so far, though. Squid's really killing as many people as he can.
Yeah, we've got 4 down on the side of Street Hoops, and they're sort of maybe smartly backing out. Sigafoo, what do you think that MTS has to do differently, or what can they adjust, do you think, to do a little better in this round?
Basically, Street Hoops is now getting a lot more aggressive across the point. They're not playing so passive. And MTS, their aggression is just not as focused. And, you know, as to the damage output by Dewana is doing a really good work, MTS needs to get a lot more aggressive.
We had Dewana flying all over the place here.
Dewana forced that Uber all by himself by just walking up and putting stickies behind their team as they were on the cliff, so they backed up in his stickies, and he did about 1 billion damage to all of them.
Billion damage done here on eXtv, and
first of the time?
Kind of devolving
it's a new record,
here a little bit. It is a new record. Achievements unlocked all over the board. MTS holding on to this now for over 40 seconds, which is certainly beats their last effort. Dewana coming though now, just putting out this damage and just shooting for Harblu. Harblu's staying up though, not taking any damage. Took 5, but that was it. Street Hoops with their first cap of the round, and they're not slowing down. They're still kind of pushing forward.
I think MTS is going to push back right now. They're not going to wait for Uber, and I don't think they can afford to wait for Uber at this point, honestly. They have to take control of the pace of the game.
You're right on Dewana, just putting out tons and tons of damage, maybe working up to 1 billion, but taking a lot of heat though from Platinum. Haven't seen maybe as much of Platinum, you know, any med picks or anything like that. But I've got to say, you know, Platinum and Squid have targeted the sniper a lot. They've taken out some of those classes, but maybe want to see a lot more from Platinum and Squid. MTS take it back though.
Yeah, I kind of wonder how much the mini sentry factor is working against Platinum, or just because he's not used to playing with them, obviously in 6s, and I just wonder how he's dealing with those.
And Pyros, don't forget Pyros.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite class, of course, the Pyro. MTS just standing on this point right now and backed up now. Here comes Dewana time.
I'm surprised we still haven't seen a crits from either team. I really think this should happen at some point. Can't leave me hanging, man. But
yeah, I'm really surprised playing super vanilla a little bit.
And we got a really nice pipe to save his medic's life on Deadbolt.
What is going on? Mang was up in China just swinging stuff around. I don't know what that was all about. And again, devolving a little bit, but that point still belongs to MTS.
Yeah, Ash got a nice 4K there, so that might lead to Street Hoops being able to recap this when they get their spawns, because this is the thing. Any trade that happens right now is in Street Hoops' favor because they don't have the point. However, the fact that Harblu stayed alive while Mang did not will still put MTS in favor of winning this round because they could push back with Uber advantage.
Deadbolt is coming in on Harblu. Oh! It was down though, real close, and almost picked out Harblu.
And Harblu's taking Squid in on this Uber. Let's see what can happen with this.
Yeah, and that's kind of been their move through a couple of
Pyro,
these maps.
though. Pyros are just the bane of any Uber's existence in Highlander, and Huey was doing a nice job sacrificing himself. He knew he couldn't let Mang die. His life was way less important.
Yeah, but I got the capture point right there, and that's actually really useful, being up already by a minute. Even if they
Mang dies to Platinum.
Wow, and Squid was way up. I got to point out that Squid is using the pocket pistol, which actually means he takes more damage, more fire damage, and so it's kind of a risk-reward thing. This point, though, now going back to MTS, and they're getting the defense back up. Sweater doing his best to put out 1 billion damage.
Yeah, it's just Street Hoops isn't getting aggressive enough here. They've given up at least 20 or 30 seconds, like, needlessly throughout this round, and now they're going to have to basically hold perfectly or, like, have one mistake under the belt with 40 seconds in the clock for MTS. And MTS has the advantage. Yeah, this is looking MTS's way right now.
Harblu dies too, though. Wow.
Wow, a lot going down. You got it.
Yeah, Harblu kind of overextending into a sniper sightline when he didn't need to, but honestly, with the spawn advantage, I mean, MTS should be alive here first. Especially with Sweater getting all these kills right now. I mean, all those players aren't going to spawn for a long time. If you look at the scoreboard, it's 9v7, and honestly, that's enough to go right now. 9v6 now with Noko, you know, this should easily be an MTS push.
And, you know, just to remind, obviously, MTS want to take this to force sort of the golden cap of this map, but they're going to take this point here right now as we had a bomb in. Reflected rocket there on
Paragon.
Ash, which is nice.
Paragon was the saving grace of Street Hoops. He got 2 snipes as they walked in, and right after they capped, he sniped the heavy. So if Street Hoops wants any hope in the rest of this round, they need to rely on Paragon hitting shots like that.
Yeah, MTS can't get too aggressive right here. They don't need to save this point. They have 10
Fathom
seconds
going
left
for
on
the
it.
medic though, but
Squid
actually,
gets it. Squid
wow.
coming in with the cleanup. And that's probably going to be the nail in the coffin if Harblu stays alive here. Because if Harblu stays alive, it doesn't matter how few people are up for MTS. They're going to spawn, they're going to have Uber, they're going to push in, and they're just going to cap it, you know? Unless they get, like, dropped on the way to the point. And it looks like they're not even going to let that happen.
Yeah, here they come. We haven't seen maybe the Squid and Platinum doing it too much, but they've done it when it has mattered and taken out the medic Mang when it has mattered. And here we go now, 9 on
Paragon
point.
gets Harblu.
Paragon's still doing it. My God.
But the crucial thing, Street Hoops is not going to be able to cap before it goes into overtime, which means they have no room for error here. They have to play this flawlessly from this point on.
Yeah,
that's
they
going to be
cannot
hard.
give it up. As soon as MTS takes it, it'll immediately give the round to them, and it's going to be 2-2. But we'll see what happens here as still holding this point is Street Hoops, and you know, they definitely want to pull this off.
My prediction is that MTS is going to push too early, die and bleed too many players. They're not going to take it back.
And they drop Harblu to Paragon, so that's very likely.
Harblu is down, and that is not what they needed to happen. 18, going to be about 15 seconds now, and Street Hoops are still in this. Big time, as almost all of MTS is down. They're 3 up. Harblu's back, but he's got no one to heal.
5
and are
seconds.
they going to be able to get here quick
5
now?
seconds, and Street Hoops is grand champions.
Noko trying to do it, but Noko going down, and Street Hoops pulls it off.